Opera in Delaware. It exists, and not only that, it's thriving and it's affordable. Brendan Cooke is the general director of Opera Delaware. For those who are not enlightened to Opera Delaware, tell us about it.
Sure. It's actually the 11th oldest opera company in the country. Best kept secret here, I think. We were started in 1945, mainly as a volunteer effort, but its profile has continued to rise. And in our 72nd season this year, we're changing our focus to be more of a destination for the region and the country. So this coming spring, we're doing the two biggest productions we've ever done. We're doing them at the same time. So I must be a little crazy, but it's really designed to bring the world and shine a light on the assets we have here in Wilmington. So,
no, good for you. I don't think having a big production is a sign of a mental health problem, but I do think...
True at once.
Yeah, no, I get it.
Yeah.
However, it does show that you're successful, and it shows that you're growing, and it shows you're ready to take another step or taking on bigger productions. Is that fair?
Sure. I mean, to be completely fair, we had some tough years, like a lot of regional opera companies did. We were continually doing less with less, and we narrowly escaped the fate that 30 other opera companies suffered since 2008. We lost 30 companies since 2008. And
wow.
Opera Delaware came close, but I give a lot of credit to the board of directors for saying, hey, what are we doing here? Doing less with less isn't working. How can we be bold? And frankly, how can we get out of that stance of trying not to lose audience to Philadelphia? How can we get Philadelphia to come here? And the minute we started dreaming a little bit, we got some wind in our sails, and we're really excited about the future.
And are you getting Philadelphia to come here? Are you getting maybe Baltimore to come here?
We are, and beyond. We're getting some sales in New York. We've got a group coming from Santa Fe. We've got some pretty aggressive targets. We're shooting to get more than 1,000 people coming from more than 30 miles away. So it's a big goal, but we're working really hard to make that happen.
And is that all based on reputation, I would think? I mean, I'm sure some of it's marketing, but...
Some of it's marketing, some of it is the repertoire that we're choosing to do this year. We're trying to do something that is a little more interesting externally. Doing the East Coast premiere of an opera that was composed in 1865 and then lost. And a good friend of mine discovered this opera and reconstructed it. The scores were badly damaged in World War II at the publishing house in Milan, and this guy painstakingly reconstructed this work. And we're having the East Coast premiere here in Wilmington, before it goes to New York, before it goes to Boston, before it goes to DC. So I think that the nature of us thinking big and taking the go big or go home approach has caused some ripples, and people are writing about it, and opera fans are taking notice.
So talk about how people can buy tickets, how much the tickets cost, and where they go to get that.
Sure. So for our operas at the Grand, they can visit our website, operade.org. Those tickets range from $28 up to about $90, which is still
really
just a small portion of what it costs to do. So there's a real value proposition. And then we have some smaller performances throughout the year at our riverfront facility that are nice. I like to call them gateway drugs to the opera. A good way to learn a little bit more before you dive all in. But I agree, the Grand is just such a marvelous asset here. It's a true European style opera house, and seeing a live opera in there with orchestra and costumes and sets in that magnificent space, there's nothing like it on the East Coast, and it's right here in Wilmington.
And do you have something playing now or in the near future?
So in the near future, we have a couple recitals coming up at our studio property where we're shining a spotlight on some of our principal artists for the Spring Festival. Beginning of March, we have a fun night called the Four Tenors, where we've got 4 marvelous young tenors seeing who can sing higher and louder. Pretty fun and irreverent and casual. And then, of course, the Spring Festival is really what we're gearing towards. We have this reconstruction of Hamlet by a contemporary of Giuseppe Verdi. And then we have Verdi's final opera, Falstaff, which incredibly has never been done professionally in the state of Delaware. So it's a Delaware premiere of Verdi's final opera. Both of the operas have a libretto by a gentleman by the name of Arrigo Boito, his first and his last libretto.
You do have a lot going on. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
I really appreciate it. And people, if they don't remember the website right off the top of their head, they can just Google Opera Delaware, right?
They sure can.
And they'll get to you.
Yep.
Brendan Cooke, General Director of Opera Delaware. If you've never been to opera, you should give it a try. As Brendan just said, once you try it, you'll get hooked. That's it for the Delaware Way. I'm Larry Menti. Stick around for another thing.